Hi, my name is Dodi Turney. Welcome to Campbell Ferrara. Today we're going to be talking about winning combinations for your containers. First off, we're going to start talking about containers. You can really container garden in anything. If you wanted to use a coffee can, you could do it as long as you have good drainage. I pulled a variety of just some different sizes and some different types of pots. This would go on a rail. This is like perfect for herbs, annuals. A lot of what we have are annuals, but I also am trying to pull some perennials in. I guess the next thing is probably soil. We carry 3 different types of soil at Campbell Ferrara. We carry the Miracle-Gro, we carry the Espoma Organic, and we also this year started carrying the Osmocote. Or the Osmocote soil probably has the slow release fertilizer in it. The Miracle-Gro has the Miracle-Gro fertilizer, and then the organic Espoma, which is actually what I use. It's just a combination of peat and humus and some other things. None of these soils are actually soil. They're all a combination of, like I said, peat, the humus, and whatnot. There's actually not a bit of dirt in any of these soils. So I think what we're going to do is start out with herbs. We carry a really large selection of herbs. Herbs are going to want full sun. We have the creeping rosemary and the thyme in front. Those are great in containers because they go over the front. I've got the chives, basil, sage, and parsley. All of these do really well in the sun. You just go in, you use it, cut it back a little bit, it will regenerate, it will grow. The one thing, I was a customer here for many, many years before I actually started working here. And one of the reasons I was is we tend to carry a lot of stuff you don't see at other places. And I'll show you some of those others. I've also got a couple of new things I want to show you. This is one of my new favorites. People either love it or they hate it. I just like it because it's got the fine texture and it's got the brown. It'll take part sun to full sun, and it gets about 24 inches tall, but it's great in the back of a container. The rule of containers basically is fill, thrill, spill. Your thrill is what's in the back. It's what's going to really, really get attention. Fill is what you kind of put in the middle, and then spill is what's going to go over the front. I tend to, the one thing I like about containers is you can experiment. It's what I like about annuals. Annuals, they're $1.99 to $3.99. If it dies, you pull it out and you replace it. If you plant something and you don't like it, pull it out and put something else in. So on this one, we've got the wave petunias. The wave petunias are awesome. They really will just take off. And I am all about low maintenance. I don't want to have to deadhead. I don't want to have to do anything. I want to plant it. I want it to look good. And I'll fertilize it. But besides that, I don't want to have to go in there and take the dead flowers and everything off. That's what I love about these. They will really fill up a container. We have lots and lots of different colors. We just started carrying a new product line called Horticulture. And basically the marketing on this is, for the woman, for the guys out there, that's into fashion, it's into what's hot at the time. We just brought these in, and they have a lot of really unusual stuff that I have not seen. This is a fuchsia. It'll do well in the shade. It actually gets little purple flowers. They're not blooming yet, but this is a great spill plant. If you have shade, Perennials has really become popular in the last couple years. The begonias are great. These things, I just absolutely love the color. One thing when you're doing a container is you want to mix, not only do you want to mix your colors, but you also want to mix your textures. You don't want to have a bunch of stuff that has a really, really fine texture because they kind of get lost. So you want to mix your coarse textures with your finer textures, and color is the same thing. You can do like complementary colors, let's see, like the pinks and the reds, or you can do contrasting colors like orange and purple. You wouldn't think that orange and purple would look good together. So if you have shade, this is an awesome plant. This is a proven winners. We also cover, in addition to the horticulture, we carry the proven winners. They don't require deadheading. Like I said, you put your tall stuff in the back. This is also new. I have never seen a potato vine like this. I don't know if you all are familiar with the sweet potato vines. We carry them in like the chartreuse. They've got like the heart-shaped leaves. They've got another leaf that has a finer texture. But this is a new sweet potato vine, and I absolutely love it. But, you know, you can put something like that in there. You can pull in. These are million bells. These are, it's very similar to a petunia. It takes off, it doesn't mind the heat, and it just grows. I mean, we've got them in some of the hanging baskets, and they will get incredibly huge. And, you know, you could just do something, do the sweet potato vine. I try not to be too symmetrical. That's always been one of my issues, is I've always been a symmetrical kind of person. When I plant something, if I have something in the center and I do something on this side, I have always had a really hard time making myself do something different. But I've gotten better. I just basically force myself to do it. So like this right here, with this on the side, this coming down the front. And see, another thing I did with this, and this also looks really pretty, is you can see this is a dark purple, but this is a light purple. And when they grow, and they grow together, it really does look good. You know, putting a light pink with the dark pink, or the purples. This is another new plant. Now this is actually a tropical. It's a cordyline. I absolutely love it. It looks good with lots of different colors. You can put it with purples, you can put it with pinks, you can put it with reds. You know, you could like do that in the back, do that on the side. So, now you don't just have to do annuals. You could also work some perennials into your containers. This is a coreopsis. Now this you do have to deadhead, but it gives masses of color the entire summer. It's a great perennial. You know, so this is lamb's ear, and this doesn't actually flower, but it's got an awesome texture. It's big, it's kind of soft and fluffy. So, you know, you could put something like that in there. And then again, something to contrast. Put your purple in. This is verbena. And verbena is an awesome spill plant. You get masses and masses of color. We're going to do a strawberry pot here in just a minute. But I wanted to do some, this is a heuchera, this is a coral bell. You don't really plant the coral bell for the flowers as much as you do for the foliage, because it's got an awesome colored foliage. This will take shade. This is a hosta. This is one of my favorite hostas. I love the chartreuse color. And you know, the one thing about containers is you don't have to always have flowers. I've got a couple of containers on my deck that are just strictly foliage plants. I use house plants. You know, you can use asparagus fern. There's lots and lots. I mean, you have tons of different choices. Now this is a spirea, or a salvia, I'm sorry. You know, but you could mix that. This could be your tall, this could be your fill. If you had a really large container, and again, you could put this in the front and then just stick that. You know, that would be really, really pretty. You can do lots of different types of plants in strawberry pots, besides strawberries. They do great for strawberries. You can do herbs, and what we're going to do today is we're going to actually do portulaca. It's very low maintenance. The flowers actually open and close. They close at night and then open up again in the morning. And you do actually, well, you don't have to deadhead it, but it does look better if you deadhead it, but it's really easy. You just pull those dead blossoms off and boom. So here, I wanted to show you what I did. When you do a strawberry pot, now you don't have to do this, but it makes watering strawberry pots a whole lot easier. It's hard, you know, you can water it from the top and the water will go down. But it's hard to water these pockets, especially if you have something like herbs that's going to require more water than, say, the portulaca, which is a little more drought tolerant. So what you do is you put your gravel in the bottom, put enough dirt in the bottom to get it to stand up straight. When you're doing a strawberry pot, you can do it one of two ways. you can take the plants and actually put it inside the pot and pull them out. With this, it's too large. If you're doing something like really early in the spring and you're doing rosemary or something, what you want to do, you take it out of the pot, and I just kind of tease it a little bit. It's okay, you're not going to hurt the roots. So what you want to do is when you're doing one of these is you want to try to get that root ball as small as possible. And then you want to just take it, and you do have to kind of shove it. It's not an easy thing to get it in, but you can get it in. Just slowly work it in. And you do the same thing with all of the sides, just trying to get that root ball as small as you can. When you're doing containers, you don't want the dirt all the way up to the top. You want it to be about 1 inch from the top of the container, so when you water it, it doesn't wash all the water and stuff out. Makes it a lot easier to water them that way. They're just planted, so they're going down, but eventually they'll start coming up. I mean, it really does look really, really pretty once you're done with it. So that's a strawberry pot. Like I said, strawberries, herbs, sedum, you can really do any type. You can do alyssum, you can do the verbena. I mean, it's really limitless, the number of different plant combinations that you can do on these strawberry pots. There are a couple of things that I use. These are 2 of them. When I do any of my containers or I plant anything in my yard, I use plant starter. You put a little bit in water, and what it is it's a root hormone. You want to get those roots established as soon as possible, no matter what time of year you plant. If you plant, you know, in the fall, you want anything you plant, and this is trees, shrubs, anything. You want those roots established before winter. If you're planting in the spring, you want those roots established before summer, before it gets really, really hot, and their water intake is going to increase. You just put a little bit in I just use a milk jug. I just put a little bit in the milk jug and shake it up real good. And I use this probably the first 2 or 3 times I water my plants. This is a moisture meter. It's $6.99. If this keeps you from killing, I hate to say that, but if this keeps you from killing a couple of plants, then you're going to make your money back. What it does is you put the probe in the dirt, and it tells you if your plant needs water or not. That's the #1 cause of killing plants, is either overwatering or underwatering. Okay, this is the Osmocote. This is going to be the slow release fertilizer. You can actually mix this with your dirt. If you're planting up your container, you can just mix it in your dirt and then backfill it. These tend to have a lot of the nitrogen, which is what gets the roots growing. And the Miracle-Gro is really good for top growth. So this is what I use like in July when my stuff is not looking so good. I don't usually pull my Miracle-Gro out until probably late June or early July. And then I start hitting them with this. Thanks for attending today's container gardening seminar. We would love to see pictures of your containers. Please feel free to post them on our Facebook page. Have a good day and happy gardening.